Choo choo, choo 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 choo. Hopefully the train's not coming this way. Hey guys. It's a pretty beautiful night. I'd be able to see some stars up through those clouds sporadically. But yeah, hang around if you like. I'm going to see how well the connection is, because they've done something different with their connection here. So where I know Bigfoot have taken over a little corner of this park here, we're going to walk over to there and hopefully stay in strong connection of some sort, and at least just, do the walk. And it's going to be dark. And yeah, it's a cool little ravine there, pretty deep. It's probably it drops pretty fast. I'm going to say across it's about 100 feet, or say 150 feet across the ravine. And down depth from going there, it's going to be about, probably about 100 feet deep. So it's really easy, and there's lots of hiding spots and a whole bunch of stuff. But it's very obvious that they've moved into that area there, and it doesn't mean they hang out there, but it means they do stop in there and hang out. So we'll see how close we can get to that, see what goes on. But I'll just keep waiting and see if anybody comes by. Somebody's out there. Cool, cheers. I'm outside. I'm planning on seeing how far I can walk here with the phone and its connection live. Yeah, I bet you that could be Jay, because he can't answer me. If that's Jay, he's probably laughing right now. But it's the way it goes, eh? Yeah, I'm just going to hang on for a little bit anyway, so hopefully whoever it is, you can hang on, and we'll wait and see if a few more people come by, and then I'm going to start a little bit of a walk. And if it is you, Jay, I'm talking about that spot we went to. And if it is you, Jay, then it's really cool, because at that spot, I've noticed a couple of other things that didn't add up either. Like some cut off bit of trees there, like kind of shooter trees or whatever. So anyways, let's do this. I think it would be alright if I flipped the phone around, because that just the way it's pointing now, it's a good direction for picking up the wavelengths, I believe. Because I'm just on Wi-Fi live here. I'm not on data or anything like that. So, and I'll keep you on light, but where we're walking is this way up into the black there. Big semi-truck parked there, and a couple of other cars parked there. The Wi-Fi hasn't started flashing, so that's really cool. So where I'm walking right now, one thing, like when Jay was here the other day and I was pointing out to him, I just point out, you feel all that lumpy stuff out under his feet, and you can tell it's unusual. I pointed out how a lot of these trees around here that you can't see right now, but are just how much they've grown taller and stuff. It's just phenomenal. And we walked up to the corner anyways where the ravine is, and as soon as he was standing there or whatever, he's a bit of a bush guy. He's been doing a lot of bush stuff his whole life. So he's standing there and he's looking at the ravine, and he knows it just doesn't look right. It's not a natural setting. It's obviously somebody's moving through it a lot, and way more than homeless people would be, because it's not like they cover so much square footage. If they want to have a little place down in the bottom of the ravine, they just have one trail in or two trails in, sort of thing. So this is pretty cool, because you guys are showing strong, that I got strong connection here, and last year when I sat at the picnic table here that I'm passing diagonally down from me, it was really weak. I was able to do a live from sitting at that picnic table, but now I've come way up into the corner, so this is really kind of cool. And this is a spooky corner because over the time that I've been doing this, all my research and stuff, I started at this corner here, on this in particular park, watching for signs because I was always parked near here because of the Wi-Fi. So I've been watching it change more regular than probably most of my properties that I've watched. And I don't really call this, I wouldn't say fully it's a habitat, but I would say that, or I do say, there's signs of a lot of activity. I think they probably at least have a habitat nearby. But like Jay was even pointing out when we were talking, this is a major highway for them. Like what? Because the river here can be considered like a big highway, like a super highway. And so any of the different cut-throughs are considered different kind of trails. Well, what we're standing on right now is a really wide kind of interstate highway is how these guys can travel through here. So now what I'm going to do, you look pretty strong in power there, so I'm going to walk right up to the edge here. So now I'm just looking down into a black abyss. And if they happen to be around, they're totally just staring at me. So anyways, I was standing. It's really cool because I'm so happy that I made it back to this spot. Because I was actually standing at this spot. Hopefully the traffic will slow down on its noise. We got a nice strong connection. Cool. So anyways, this is not words of bullshit. Anyways, so earlier I was standing on this exact spot here. And the cars are going to calm down right now a bit. Good. Giving us a break. It's just how I kind of come up higher here. What it does is the sound, I pick up the sound further from back that way. And also further from back that way. You can kind of notice how much higher we are now than that building. So now I've come up here, and way down here is a deep ravine. It's about 100 feet, 150 feet across. And from that straight line across, down from there, it would be at the deep point there, I don't know, let's say 80 feet or so. Anyways, and it's all just dark bank in here, full of a lot of tree. And it's telling me a poor connection. Anyways, tons of hiding spots and stuff. So when I was standing here earlier, what I was doing, I was practicing a type of watching that I do. So obviously, like even you can detect this even like with your dogs and stuff. That I'm gonna walk a little bit closer to the building. When you're with a dog and such, and you kind of stare at the dog, even from a distance or something, you know that the dog gets kind of certain vibes out of you and stuff like that because you're staring at him, you know, people and so on and so forth. So obviously these guys would be too. So that's just one in particular thing. And then when you happen to be maybe somebody who's hiding and don't want anyone. So here you get to see almost the ravine a bit. So that's the road there where the car is driving by. And that all just is dropping down into the ravine there. And it's kind of from that light right there on the top. You can kind of see it dropping a bit. To kind of in the center over there is where you would see it. Maybe almost below those lights there, or whatever. That's where how wide that ravine is, that part of the ravine is there. And then there it happens to be going to a culvert that goes under the road there. And I wouldn't doubt it that they can get through the culvert. I haven't gone through the point of checking. Hey Prescott, how's it going? From Arizona. Awesome, man. Thanks for stopping in. I'm just on the crest of a bit of a ravine here that you know, where I know the critters do hang out. I know there's many signs of them for sure using this property, so they at least, use it as a cut through down to our big river system here or something like that. So I'm really happy that my live is working this far, because I'm picking it up from that building right there, so it's never worked this good before, so kind of excited about that. So thanks for stopping in. So that's the blackness we see anyways. What was I saying then? I don't know. I went and forgot what I was saying there, but this is, for me, coming up here, look, I'm going to walk under this tree right here. This is a spooky spot where I'm always, many times, but right now the time of year is it's really not very full of foliage in here, and because it's not full, whoever's around isn't super brave. It's not necessarily like guts brave, but super brave and wanting to get busted sort of thing. One of the things I'm noticing though is, so you people who are in the so-called storm areas that are going on, and you're kind of thinking to yourself, well, that's kind of weird how the trees are all this broken from that storm and stuff. There's a lot of people, different so-called storms hitting so-called areas and doing so-called damage. Now there is a relation there, and there's different ways that it's related to these guys. But one of the ways that you can figure out stuff is, especially if you walk at night, go for a walk at night on big, where it used to be really nicely manicured grass, not like a golf course where they stay on top of it, but parks and stuff. And at night it shows a lot of shadows. Anyways, it's just like they're infested with moles or something like that. It's just really weird, and it's uncomfortable for walking on. And they have something to do with that too. So a lot of links. There's a lot of links that are connected to them. And that's part of the reason why I say family. I just heard a yelp. Thought I did. Sometimes, once in a while, it might have been something else. But once in a while I do hear that, and it's testers. You know why I mostly wanted to do this video, actually, is because I really wanted to kind of talk about those couple of short videos that I've put up there on my channel just recently, and there's some hand action going on there. I kid you not, 100%. I'm telling you. Oh, hey, got a few people chiming in. Hey Jay, how's it going, brother? The cougar skull I found down by the river. No way, dude. Did you keep it? I hope you did. Or maybe you don't feel right with that. Hey, Victory Lee, how's it going? Leo, how's it going? Good to see you also. I'm pretty happy I'm able to be walking around out here, and I got a pretty good reception. Jay, I was talking about you because over up in that corner there, you know where I am, Jay, at the info center here, where the stairs are. Oh, did you, eh? Cool. Anyways, yeah, Jay, by that spot where me and you were checking out the ravine there. And that's one of the things I was talking about a few minutes ago, is how I was practicing trying to watch them. You're good, right on, Victory. Good to hear. And, there was a couple of other signs earlier. I was standing up there in the daylight, and there was some signs of, a couple more signs, like basically some limbs of some, whatever, kind of, those those, you called them the other day or whatever, all those ones that are just shooting up, a whole bunch of whatever, just shooting up limbs. Anyways, a bunch of them that on the inner side of the cliff, like closer to the drop off of the cliff, are cut off, and with all these other ones sticking up still on this side. So you and I, we would have looked at that and we would have said, why would a worker have left all these ones here, though don't make sense even to leave, and reached around and zinged those couple off? So those would have been a couple of good look things for us to look with, just to, you start to examine that type of cut, and you try to see if it is the character of one of their claws actually making the cut. because the reason those branches were cut don't make sense at all. So they're worthy to for sure check. And I would say pretty much for sure. I wouldn't doubt it if yeah, it is them. I didn't bother getting into looking at them and stuff because I don't need to too much, right? Like, I understand the language so much. Yeah, really cool spot. Yeah, that's where I am. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I was over there earlier, Jay. So this is what I was doing. I think I've been telling you about the couple of different ways that I've been practicing listening and looking and stuff like that. Well, anyways, so what I do is, say like right now, say I look at my car there, and I look at my car and I use that as my focus point, but I'm actually studying the other things around. Hey Brown, how's it going? Muppets? They're all Muppets? Are you serious? They're not even real Bigfoot? Oh my God. So anyways, I'm staring at the car there, and without looking at anything else, you practice looking at the other things around. You can look at shadows and you determine what things are and you test yourself and blah, blah, blah. That sidewalk there and that's over there and there's a post over there and I see that light over there, blah, 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 like this. So anyways, now imagine if you're looking at a bank. And now imagine the car is a safe thing to look at. It's the river. So you're looking right in the river. Maybe even you're kind of like, oh, look at the fishies in the river or something like this. But actually, while you're staring at the river there, you're using your peripheral vision. This is part of the parameters that you want to study to see how close you can come to what you're suspicious of being the right color of figure, the dark figure maybe you look for, something like that. Maybe you look for a lot of dark figures. So then, in other words, let's say the light that is shining right at the front door there is actually our dark figure, but it's quite light right there. And I'm looking at my car there. And what I'm doing is so that's why you have to figure out those distances that are comfortable with them. Say that's a comfortable distance. So now what I'm really doing is I'm looking like I'm staring at the car, which I do have my look going that way. But I'm using my peripheral to a certain amount to study what I'm believing is going on there. And if you get those distances correct, this is when they do testing and they'll start to move. They might get if you don't react off of it, so they might move their hand. They might just start moving their fingers and say if somehow you're just, I'm picking up on maybe something moving. Just keep hanging on. Maybe next thing you know, you get to see a larger part, like a whole arm do some kind of a shift to help give you proof. And then once you're getting comfortable to this plot, what you do is you do fast casting over those spots. You don't stop and look and study and stuff like that. You only do fast casting. You only do a couple of looks over that light spot there, and you go on with your day, maybe even a little bit. You're hanging out here and you're this and that and stuff, and you're giving space and stuff, and maybe when you come back that thing's totally gone. You might lose it, right? That's part of the risk, what I'm talking about. But we're researchers. We're coming out every day to try to find them. That's what I'm trying to help you guys do, is because Jay knows this. Jay's the guy who's walked beside me. So he knows that I can go walk with him every day if I want to. He knows that 100%. You can see it in his head that he almost guesses in his mind, like, I wonder why he doesn't do it more or whatever. Or no questions in his mind, I should say, not guesses, but whatever's that is, right? And so, yeah, I'm starting to get much more comfortable. Hey, dude, at, trying to really show the tracking of it, and so people can feel comfortable where they're looking, that they really are feeling comfortable. They're hearing from other people that there's truly different signs that they leave behind. and they can notice this, and then they can feel comfortable with the amounts, because that's one thing I don't really understand, you guys. It continues to grow in numbers. Like I was telling you, the spot right over here that me and Jay were looking at, I was telling Jay last year, Jay, it looked nothing like this, man. It was a lot more of a just just that nature well setting. Now it looks like a nature well setting that has been intruded by somebody, and it doesn't make sense for homeless people. So we use our common sense with a lot of this stuff. And then I've already told Jay, so much other stuff, and plus he can see other things that we're talking about that are, he's starting to be able to examine with his own mind a lot of my theories. Let's put it that way right now. And it doesn't mean he's a full kind of agreeer on all my tracking, but that'll just take time for him. It's pretty trippy stuff. It's incredible trippy stuff. So yeah, soon here I'm going to be bringing out some pretty nice stuff. So when I start, just trying to line up a couple of arrows and stuff, and once that all comes into play, then Jay is saying we need to develop that eye for seeing them, because I think there is way more than we know out there. Yeah, for sure. I think you know more than think that. You've had, I think you've had information that tells you that even, right? But I think, Jay, I'm going to try to say some words for you, and you just say yes or no on the thing there, and you can even come back to the video and comment at this spot, the 22 minutes into it, right? So it's in that part of the video. So anyways, I was going to say that, since you came out and you've actually hung out with me and you're walking around with me and stuff like that, how much do you think I don't know what to call it. If you would call it a practical, because it's just their practical life. It's just them living. It's just them going day to day and doing their things. Not trying to necessarily leave marks, but they have to do a certain amount of work. They have to do a certain amount of walking. They have to do a certain amount of hunting, living, planting, farming. They have to do a certain amount of all this stuff. And what I've been able to do is pick up on a lot of the signs of when they're doing that stuff. So if you come back, Jay, or you get to, see it exactly now or answer it right now, come back and tell us how your impact from before, because you've had experiences from when you started at 17 years old to make you know 100% when you were 17. And so now hanging out with me and coming out here in the field a little bit and stuff like that, that's kind of just been the difference. In other words, you've had different experiences even after that. So you had all that. You already know that you're fine. I don't have to prove to you that there's something living out there, anything like that. You were 100% believer when you came walking up to say hi to me. Anyway, since then, because we met on purpose, and since then, you've hung out with me 2 or 3 times. We've had really good conversations. We've done a little bit of walking and stuff in 2 different areas, I guess. And you got to be able to see stuff really in the field standing beside me. Now I want you to just kind of explain to the people what your impression of what us walking together, if that's kind of made you feel more hopeful of finding them, or if I'm giving you any inspiration that I'm really on to anything, or if you can do that, I'd appreciate it. I think it would help with my testimony with other people to kind of read the notes. I don't know if a lot of people read the messages, but I suggest that they read the messages on my videos. And the reason is because certain people are getting my crazy kind of science. I'm not a well-educated science person. I'm not a teacher from any degree or anything. I'm a well-educated person that just has been walking around in the bush and being out here at midnight many hundreds of times, and swimming in a lake at midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning by myself many different times and stuff. So these beings have probably been watching me since I was a little kid or whatever, and thinking, hey, why didn't he get, and why wasn't he covered in hair? He acts like us, man. He's just wild. I'm just joking, but hey, Bigfoot Memphis, is that you, dude? Jay, it's like learning a whole new language, yeah. What up, Ian? Just chilling. I'm outside, man. This is one of my spots that I get to do. I think Dwarf took off the pansy ass and he didn't even say goodbye. What a jerk. yeah. Memphis will go over to him now. Yeah, Tin Man's over there bad-mouthing you. Yeah, that's what we need to do, is maybe get some drama going there, Memphis. Huh? Yeah, me and you fight. Like the Logans and the KSI and those all those young kids right now. That's what they're doing. They're all thinking they're going to be doing boxing matches and getting 1 million people watching. Maybe what we should do is we should do, what do you call it when it's, like if, I guess people do that already, where they're doing the internet kind of connection fighting or whatever. No, I don't do that. Yeah, me neither. We're too old to fight. Too old to put on those kind of shows, too real to put on all those kind of shows and make it about bullshit, right? Some bullshit we can laugh at and use as humor and stuff, and it's kind of like some kind of humor or whatever, remind us of old days and stuff, but to actually make too many, like even my jokes sometimes here that I do little jokey things on my YouTube, sometimes I'm really, like even that one where I just kind of sung there for a second. I swear, man, that just happened like that. Not that it's a big deal. And I just thought, I'm gonna have the courage and put that up, because I just decided to turn on my camera. I was testing it out because of its poor I'll keep shutting down or whatever. So I was just doing some stuff, monkeying around, and now I'm standing here with my back to a wall of death. Shall I show you? Boink. Is that a Bigfoot standing here? What else that do, you guys? I'm okay. It's alright, guys. Whatever that was, I fought it off. It might have been a grizzly bear, might have been a Bigfoot, I'm not too sure. But that was live, you guys. You guys should spread this one around the world. I'll show you the blood and stuff tomorrow. I'll get stitches. I'm already in my old days. Yeah, I hear you. You're younger than me, though, I think. I think we already determined that. What is it? Memphis, it must be about, about 2 o'clock in the morning or something? Jay is saying, I think there's a lot of them down by the Fraser, especially when the salmon are running. Like in May and June. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, that's exactly it, Jay. We will be able to end up determining different movement skills from them and stuff like that. Like, this is all the real conversation that's happening. People aren't realizing how much body language they do leave in the forest. And Tin Man's connected into it. So if you're a patient listener and learner, start watching my videos and just really listening to the words, because they'll open. Because I'm pretty sure that I would be able to go over to Australia. I usually use that as my example, but I'm pretty sure I'd be able to go over to Australia, go to a nice area of where we just feel like starting, and I'm pretty sure that I would be able to connect that species that, I don't know, like I don't know what else to call, but I believe that the same being over there, the same similar things are going on, the same thing. They're about the earth on the same degree that these guys are about the earth, with the breaking of stuff, with the fracking. Like, um, Jay came out here, and I think he can now really feel comfortable about hearing me talking about the fracking of the concrete and stuff. He doesn't at all. He thinks that pretty much all can be true. Like, he's seen enough now to just be locked in with that. I'll talk live. 48 this year. Oh, you'll be 48 this year. 147. What does that mean? I'll be, this year I'll be 53 this year, myself in May. I hear you, dude. Yeah. 48 years old, man. That's when I got hurt. That's when I started to started cutting down from work and stuff, because it was just, I get a lot of aggravation from it because I whacked my head overly hard, and then over the next couple of years, I hurt myself again. I hurt myself with a special hearing test. They fucked up and did this gong on me and stuff, and fucked up my tinnitus and my hyperacusis even more. And so I chill and live my life the best that I can here. But it happened when I was 48. Started that when I was 48. So that's kind of the way it works. I think I'm going to sign off, guys. Thanks for coming and chilling. You said what time was the time? Oh, what was my... Yeah, I was asking what you... Oh, yeah, right. Sorry about that, dude. So 1:47. Oh, okay. So, yeah, okay, it's almost 2 o'clock. So it must be about 11:47, I think, here. I was kind of guessing us to be... I think we're coming up to 12. Pretty sure. Getcha. You threw out the 1:47, and I'm thinking, oh, God, he's on an old flashback from acid or something. AK-47, he thinks his name is YouTube, AK-47. We got to start being careful with those kind of jokes, even saying the word AK-47. It'll be a key word that the computer can pick up, and they send it over to whatever, and some guy goes, no, I think they're talking bad talk. Delete the live. Got to give these computer nerds jobs, I guess. So they probably listen to our stuff more than they really pay attention to it and try to help it along. They probably just analyze it more than that. All these analyzations of paranoia, and then I guess you probably heard what happened at YouTube, where some chick went in there and shot the place up or something. I think in California. When you were 12 years old was Bigfoot Memphis' first encounter, eh? Well, cool. Well, you know what? I kind of think my first one when I was, that I'm aware of also, because, with now, I don't doubt there is more, like knowing my outdoorsness and stuff like that, but nothing that stood out. But when I was about 16, turning 17, right in that area, I had a breakdown on a car. And I used to live up in a valley. It's called Cultus Lake out here. And it's quite a deep valley. It's an awesome lake, and it's a pretty deep valley. The mountains there are pretty shaded in and stuff, right? So I'm walking home one night, probably about midnight or something like that. I knew my parents were out of town and stuff, so it's a long walk. Walking around, and I'm getting close to getting to my house there. And I've always told this story up until about, probably about a year now it's been when I decided, holy shit, that maybe was a Bigfoot thing. Now I come to believe it probably was. But basically this in the pitch of black, when you can't even see your hand in front of your face kind of thing. I was wearing a jacket because I used the jacket as a defense thing. But anyways, all of a sudden a dog just wildly around me somewhere. No way could I clue in it all where it was other than close. It was kind of just all around me, barked about 5 times. And I whip off my jacket and I'm just... It stopped and nothing bothered me again. I finished the rest of my walk home, never heard from it or anything like that. And for, like I said, for all these years, it'd be 40-something years, or 40 years, just under 40 years, I've been telling the story of a dog. Because I told it quite a few times, because I remember it really freaked me out, man. So it'd be kind of entertainment for me to tell. Sometimes I might spice up the story and stuff and tell, I pull out my knife and I grab the dog, realize it was actually a wolf, so it's all right for me to kill a wolf. But if it was a dog, I was just going to kind of tie him up. But because it ended up being a wolf, I was able to pull out my knife and I just started stabbing. And I can't tell the rest of that story, but it was crazy. When back in the day when you're a kid or something, when you're drunk at the party or whatever, that's how the story comes out. I was hiding from my dad from a butt whipping, and and hid in the swamp with a friend. Yeah, and short story, one walked out and looked at us. Holy shit! So you went down, your guys are hiding kind of there. This guy he was close right there in the area, so he kind of just gave himself up, stood up, walked past you guys kind of thing, checked you out, and kind of kept on going, I would imagine. Wow. How big? How big of a man? Like, I can kind of see, like, tell me how big you are then. You're like about a 5'10" kind of guy? 180, 200 pounds or something like that, in good shape. How would he compare to that size? Thank you for the thumbs ups, guys. And gals. I don't think any gals have come on tonight, eh? There's Moskals. Moskals will always come in and save the day. How's it going? Memphis is just doing up a little bit of a type up right now. He's telling us some very important information. It actually is really important information. It's an unbelievable, wholesome story is what it is, of his first encounter. At least the first one that he also remembers. Partly I say that because, there's been tons of these beings before when we were kids, and now that's what we're maybe experiencing, is a really big movement of population increase. That's what I'm picking up around in this area myself. So he walked, so this is Bigfoot Memphis now saying, he walked out from some sage, brush, looked at me and grunted, turned and walked back in. Whew. So yeah, do you think when he walked out of the sage, he already knew you were out there, so he came out, gave you the grunt warning and then turned? Or do you think he was walking out because he was on that path, to go that way, seen you, grunted, turned and walked back in there because didn't want to deal with it? First one or second one? Muscles is saying are good here, thanks. Right on. Oh, so she's a female, right on. So when I was saying some female thing, no female on, you popped on. Isn't that neat? Arizona, never seen a Bigfoot, but UFOs, okay, right on. Well, they're out in Arizona, I'll tell you that much from my way of understanding them. I got pretty good understanding in them, I must try to state. People don't have to believe me if they don't want to, and I would say that they're in Arizona also. They're everywhere. Jay is saying, oh yeah, Memphis, once you really see one, yeah, That's it. You're hooked. See one or hear one. Remember, Jay, yours was just here that time, but the description of hearing that way, there's nothing else. Hearing something tearing down a forest for 3 blocks along with you. Oops, somebody's got a bad tire. Ugh. I was putting bad vibrations through me, and then I start yelling to kind of compete with it, right? Bodybuilder, yeah, are ya? Right on. I'll for sure, sub ya. I gotta sub more of my people, some of my people. I'm sorry. If anybody is insulted by that, just remind me. Sub me, Tin Man, I'll sub you. I don't have a problem having all, I think it's all part of what the world, you know, it's better if you're doing it that way. You're not being, who do we be judgmental against, right? So, I think he was one of his own. Okay, so you think he was on his own path, and I just happened to be there. Right on. So he walks out, sees you, grunts. Did your buddy see him too? She's saying, yeah. Yes, I've seen the muscles. I have seen them for sure. If you watch my video called First Face to Face, and kind of watch that one a few times and kind of get into what I'm at 2 minutes, there is when you end up seeing, I might have changed the name of it or something though, I don't know, but you'll see it in there. There's a short version and a longer version. The longer version is like 2 minutes 25 seconds or something, but anyways, at 2 minutes is when a beautiful focus happens. And then once you grasp who I'm connected with there, and that's my first experience, and I'm also seeing with my eyes, so I ain't like this as like if you were looking at the light right there, I'm looking at it, confirming with my eyes, seeing as much as I can, which I shouldn't be doing right now. Anyways, and then I would also do it in the camera, so there was no noise that was audible by me that was going on. Maybe a couple of birds or something, but I don't recall that. But it's a really cool video. It really gets some people to really connect with what I've gone through, because that was 13 days into this thing that's getting to where it's right around 1.5 years or something right now. So, and then around 15 days I had another encounter, and then around 19 days I had an unreal encounter that lasts for a good close to 10 minutes or whatever, and that's the big baboon-headed one, and he's very hard to see. But as people because he's really easy for me to see, and I see him soon as I'm soon as I span the camera across his head. Because if you watch that video, it's called something like Big Baboon's, you know, side profile, Big Baboon head, Bigfoot, stuff like this. Anyways, if you happen to hit the longer one, it's a 10-minute version or something. I don't start talking about him or see him until 2 minutes 30, so about 2 minutes 20. It's because I just looked at it recently, so I think that's the right number. I'm describing this black area there, and I'm saying this is one of the colors that I look for, and talking about the deepness of this color, and it's got a certain hue to it and stuff that I'm picking up. And as I'm talking about it, I'm kind of going, but that's nothing. And then I scan towards the right, just we're talking within a foot or two. All of a sudden I just go, nope, I'm wrong. And that's when I'm connecting with this guy sitting there, and he's behind 2 ferns that are shaped like a peace sign, and his head is there, and his head is huge. And yeah, and you know, and then from there, tons of other stories. Like, I don't have a couple of more stories, I got tons of more stories. So it's kind of neat, and I've been repeating them and getting new ones and repeating them. Like around 6 weeks or something is where I got a vocalization of one growling at me and stuff, and breaking the bushes, thrashing them. So back about 1 year ago. So that, like, okay, so let me go back a little bit. Oh, Fearless, I don't know about that. Okay, so yeah, I've been subs to you since you started. Yeah, eh? Right at the very beginning there. Cool. Because I had my channel going kind of with other stuff first, so I already had it going, and then I got more involved in had my first, my first kind of day of walking into the forest and saying, okay, I'm going to try this just to see if I can figure out how they walk through the forest. That day I figured out enough information to decide, yeah, that was the first day of all this. I haven't stopped. Fearless, no, not like that, but you really got to turn that off or something like that. If something came up and jumped in front of me or something like that, I wouldn't have a heart attack, but I would, I don't know, I might, do some kind of a collapse or something I would be afraid of. And that's being honest too. It's partly because of my tinnitus and my hyperacusis. I would be afraid that I don't want to be screamed at by these things. I want it to be, if I ever have to come to the point of we're meeting each other, I don't want them to scream, because if they do that, I'll crumble. It will really be hard on my head. I know it for a fact. So it would be like me standing around 10 trains or something and squealing their brakes, as they go past or something, all at the same time. Those beings got super incredible kind of a noise that they can throw out. I wouldn't doubt it if it's going to be comparable once we can figure out their noise abilities up into the big whale type things. Then, on the frequencies that they can do and stuff. So and that's me just kind of, throwing out what I kind of guesstimate and stuff, right? So I even made a screenshot video of one of your videos back a year ago, eh? Right on, dude. First time can be really scary, isn't that true? So you have a video up then? Referring to like kind of that? Because if you do, share it with me. I'd like to see it. Then or even share that one with me too. Then it's like knowing there is a friendly giant in the forest right down the way. Yeah, for sure. Especially when you didn't get hurt or anything, AJ. Like, in the end, it was kind of like, is that my big brother picking on me? Just giving me a hard time, trying to see how brave I was. Oh, so here we got Prescott's here. Oh, okay, cool. You came back, right? I think you might have disappeared for a while. Yeah, really scary and surreal. Yeah, I hear you. You've had experiences? Well, cool for muscles. Yeah. Lots of cool stuff going on, that's for sure. Massive beast. Yeah, you know what? I hear you, but I haven't. And that's part of the thing, is having that massive beast effect when it stands in front of you, eh? Like, that's the thing. I don't know how I'll handle that. Like, I could kind of guess how I'd be handling it a bit with a grizzly bear, but I don't know that either. But it's only kind of guessing. I've kind of been in a couple of other animal situations, so. It's on your channel, I hear you. Cool, dude. Yes, you're back. Right on. So now the numbers are growing, and I'm calling her quits, guys. So Bigfoot Memphis is probably gonna throw up alive now and finish out the night. Hint, hint. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the support. Get me over to your channel. Remind me once in a while. Come on my channel and say, hey, Tin Man, have you checked out my stuff lately? I like it when people do that. I jump over there. I watch a couple of videos. I jump through a bunch of videos and then just throw in thumbs ups. I throw in thumbs up on different people and stuff. I think the word gets shared better by us guys when we're hitting thumbs up. And I think that even affects us, the YouTube, whatever that rhythm thing. I think it even affects us in a positive way. So, the more you hit that thumbs up, the more the computer's understanding this guy likes interaction. So don't be afraid of your thumbs up. And if you think it's sending you shit there, then oh well, we all get the shit. We all have our interest of our channels that we're kind of probably mostly hooked up with now anyway, so ignore most of the shit out there and then just try to talk to our good friends that we really connect with well and say, watch this person. Like, I'm not meaning me, I'm saying when you're onto those guys' good things and stuff, because people will do that, and I jump onto different things all the time too, when somebody's check this out, man, this is pretty spooky or this is pretty cool, I'll jump on there and see what I'm thinking about it and appreciate it and then decide if I'm gonna, sub on the channel, whatever. So, thanks, guys. Good night. You two have a great night. Thanks, Muscles. Thanks, Prescott. Bigfoot, Memphis, Jay. And all you there's about 30, 40 other people on here, but I'm not going to read those all out, so. Peace out, guys.